your asylum process is restrictive, negative, and shading, which means it has been finally rejected. You are not giving any chance for appeal anymore. But before this stage, what are the stages that you must have walked through before you reach here? When you get a negative decision from Parh, the first stage that you're passing through is a Verwaltungsgericht. That's the first appeal, okay? And when the Verwaltungsgericht also tell you no, that's the administrative court in the city where you are, they tell you no. The next stage that you're going to is the Oberverwaltungsgericht, which is the OVG. That will be now at the land Ebene, like your province, okay? You're going to the OVG. Or depending on the province where you find yourself, some provinces we call it Verwaltungsgerichtshof. You take now there, you go your second aside, your second appeal. When you put in for your second appeal, what OVG does is they are reviewing to see what the Verwaltungsgericht decided on. If their decision is fine, if it is fine, they will leave it like that. If it's not fine, then they might be granting you a yes or a no. If they grant you a no, actually, you don't have chances anymore. But there is also the last bus stop, which is Leipzig. Leipzig is the last bus stop when it comes to asylum appeals. You can now ask for permission, ask them to grant you permission. It's called Berufung for you to go now to Leipzig. So Leipzig now is the Bundesverwaltungsgericht. At Leipzig, what they're looking at, they're not going to review your asylum case. They'll be looking for administrative errors. They'll be looking for public importance of that case. And they'll be looking for some other factual reasons that were missing. So if you think you have these things that are present in your asylum case, that you feel the other two appeals that you did not take into consideration, then you should be asking now for Berufung to go to Leipzig. And when you go to Leipzig, you're putting for Nichtzulassungsbeschwerde. Your lawyer should know about this. Normally, you cannot be going to Leipzig alone because these instances are not even easy to deal with. So that is what your lawyer is going to put in for. So at Leipzig now, you need permission to go there. They're going to check these things. In case they say no, you get this decision up here. Restrictive, negative, and shading, which means you're having your final rejection and you have no chances at all. But there is also a possibility. If you feel that you're having any constitutional complaints concerning that particular case, or if you feel that you're having new events that could support your asylum case, for example, illness, for example, during the time when this case was going on, war broke out in the country where you're coming from, for example. So all these things, if they come into play, you know that you have other new proofs. You can put in now for Asylfolgeantrag according to the paragraph 71 Asyl Gazette. You can put in now. And if you put in now, you can now move now from Leipzig to Karlsruhe, which is a constitutional court here in Germany. Karlsruhe now will be checking now for constitutional complaints. If they see that there was some constitutional errors that were done, then your case now will be reviewed. But you should be very good because we're talking about Karlsruhe and we're talking about the constitution. So if you're not having these new aspects and anything against the constitution, there is no need for you to go to Karlsruhe. It will be difficult. So this is the other instance that you can go to. Or if you think that you have strong humanitarian grounds that you think up to this stage that you are, it has been ignored, you can now move from Karlsruhe to Europäisches Gerichtshof. So these are the instances that you can walk when you're appealing an asylum case. After it ends at this stage, there is no other way for you. Du bist ausreisepflichtig, which means you are now gedroht, you are now threatened to leave Germany.